I'll call this meeting of the Finance and Labor Relations Subcommittee to order. Item number 2, disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof. Seeing none, we'll move on to item 3.1, delegation. Is our delegation here, Madam Clerk?
Through the chair, yes, we are just waiting for the gentleman to connect. Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, hi, I'm Navaratnam here.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Could I get a motion to hear from Councillor Ritzma? All those in favor? Carried. Yes, please go ahead, and I apologize if I make an error in the pronunciation. Mr. Navaratnam?
Yeah, Navaratnam, yes.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, hi, hello everyone. My name is Navaratnam. So basically my request is to cancel the penalty on the taxes. As you're all aware, my big business also significantly affected by the pandemic. And I have recently paid all the taxes in full. And I'm kindly requesting to cancel or waive the penalty. And I'll make sure this doesn't happen going forward.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none. Thank you for your presentation. I'll move on to item 4.1. Tax relief under section 4.1. Could I get a motion? Moved by Councillor Clifford. Any questions? Comments? See none, I'll call it.
No, I believe they're after direction.
Yeah, direction.
I'll make a motion to file the request.
I'm sorry. Thank you for that. Anything else? All those in favor? Carried. Item 5, report of the Director, Infrastructure and Development Services. 5.1, purchasing policy exemption request for Queen Street trunk storm sewer project. Moved by Councillor Ritzma. Mr. Crinklaw, do you have some bit of a report?
Sure. Thank you, Chair. Today I bring forward a request for a purchasing policy exemption with the intent to hire Wood Canada Limited as the sole consultant for the contract admin and inspection services for the Queen Street trunk sewer and micro tunneling project. The main reasons why I would like to engage Wood for this work is that they have been involved since the beginning in 2017. This spring, they were re-engaged just to final up the design so that we could put it out for tender. Due to the specialized nature of this project, we feel it is best to have someone that has the resources and capacity to do the work. The benefit from engaging such a consulting firm like this is they have a large professional pool of in-house staff that complete the work. And this includes all experts involved, which includes geotechnical, hydrogeological, structural, civil, and tunneling experts. And the estimated cost for this consulting services is $437,000 after the partial HST rebate. Is there any questions?
Councillor Bunting.
Yes, thank you very much. I've got no problem with the concept. I think it's a good idea to get people who have been in this world before, and certainly in this particular world of microtunneling, to assist. But the amount of dollars involved is substantial, to say the least. And there was a comment there. Is that a hard number? But we don't have any figures as to the breakdown as to how many hours of this expert or that expert or another expert, or do you have those figures at all, or is it just a number that was provided?
Yeah, through the chair. So we do have those numbers. The breakdown was provided by the consultant. The bulk of these fees is into three main areas. About $50,000 is for support services. It's about $100,000 is for contracted min, and close to $240,000 is for inspection services. And just to give you an idea of why this number is so large, is there's approximately 150 days involved in this contract. So it's quite a long time to have a consultant out for a project. And we require that they be full-time inspection during this construction, just due to the magnitude. So that's 150 days at 15 hours a day is our estimate. And this is to ensure if there are any issues that do arise, that there are minimal delays that do incur, because that could be more costly than in the long run.
So I'm thinking about if this moves forward to committee level, I'm sure you'll be asked again. So it might be a good idea to include whatever information you've been provided with that totals up to that given number, and just a suggestion. And I've also got a couple of technical questions here. Is this all one size of pipe, Taylor?
Through the chair. Effectively, it's all a 2.2 meter diameter trunk sewer.
Yeah, the whole length. Is that a standard size of pipe for microtunneling? I know that there's not very many companies, I don't believe, in Ontario that can do this sort of work. So it's a limited resource, and I just didn't know if this was a standard size of pipe that's being asked for. Like 2.2 would be near enough 7 feet, if I'm correct.
Through the chair, the imperial sizes, I'm not exact off the top of my head. Typically for this type of equipment, the sizes start off at around a meter and go much, much larger. Each contractor will have their own designated piece of equipment to reach the goal intended. There might be some slight variances they might propose when they submit for tender that might change it slightly, but effectively, it is effectively a standardized size from that sense.
Yeah, and it seems to be a rather large pipe going down, and what few drawings I've seen, it seems to flatten out at the end for the last 45 meters or so before it hits the river. And it's the concept to have this, because of the size of the pipe, is to create some sort of a reservoir in the case of flash floods, that sort of thing.
Yes, through the chair. The opening near the end of the run is for a couple of reasons. The size of the pipe, we can get a flatter section in there, so we can accommodate the transition from the pipe to the actual river itself. It also has some flow attenuation, so when it actually meets the river, it will reduce the flow to reduce any damages that could occur on the outlet side.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Did I see Councilor Clifford's hand?
I'm okay. It was almost the exact same question that Councilor Bunting asked.
Did you have anything, Councilor Ritzman? No. Okay, so I've got a mover. Any other questions or comments? Councilor Clifford.
Yeah, I just, as far as the timing of the project, is it going to be completed by spring of 2022?
Through the chair. So in discussions with the theater, we would aim to have them in sooner than later this year if that works with the contractor. Part of the submission is to provide us a schedule of work so that we can get a feel for what we're looking at. The intent is to be done by the end of April.
Councillor Bunting.
Yeah, with respect to the theater and everything else, just thinking about the logistics of it, is it going from the river up, or is it going from Brunswick Street towards the river, or which way are they planning to tackle it, or is that up to the individual contractor which ways it goes, or the consultant for that matter?
Through the chair, it is up to the contractor. At this point, I think we're discussing starting actually at the Brunswick side, but that could be altered as needed.
Thank you.
If there's nothing else, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Carried. Thanks, Taylor. Item 6, report of the manager of financial services. 6.1, 2020 treasurer's statements for development charge and cash in lieu of parkland reserve funds. Councillor Clifford's making the motion.
Yes, I'll move the staff recommendation.
Thank you. Go ahead, Spencer, if you wanted to do a report.
Through the chair, so I've prepared our annual report for council detailing a summary of the development charge reserve funds for 2020. So this report is a requirement of the Development Charges Act, and it's a report that is eventually forwarded off to the ministry. So I have included the ministry forms as attachments to my report. On page 12, you'll see the city collected approximately 1.58 million in development charges in 2020, as well as 148,000 in interest. After we account for the transfers to the capital funds, which are detailed on page 13, the city ended with an overall balance of $12,595,536. So in addition to the development charges, I've also provided members of council with the annual financial statement on the city's cash in lieu of Parkland Reserve Fund. This too is a requirement, but under the Planning Act. So for 2020, the city collected approximately 159,000, and the fund generated approximately 7,000 in interest, leaving us with a closing balance of $673,955.27. I'll now be happy to answer any questions through the chair.
Any questions? See none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? That carries. Item 6.2, proposed 2022 budget schedule and process. Spencer.
Through the chair, with mid-year upon us, our focus is now shifting to 2022 and the budget process. So based on the feedback from last year's process and the timelines, we've drafted a proposed budget schedule and process similar to that of 2021 to help guide us along. A schedule on page 21 has been provided, and it outlines the proposed dates and corresponding key action items. We are hoping to start the process pending council approval on August 3rd and expecting to have formal budget approval by council on January 24th, 2022. Of course, these are tentative dates. As part of the process, we will also be asking council to discuss and indicate a general budget target to help assist staff in preparing the budgets. So I'll now be happy to answer any questions through the chair.
Anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any suggestions for a targeted 2022 taxation impact? Councillor Clifford.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I was hoping to keep the increase around 2% if we could, but after talking to Ms. Thompson, I know it's going to be extremely hard to keep it at 2, but I thought if we aim for 2, and if we could keep it under 3, I think that would be appropriate. But that's just my own personal opinion, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So we'll put that in the form of a motion. The last paragraph, do we have anything to add as far as direction to staff on capital projects, changes in service levels or activities? Or is that something we leave off for now? I'm going with, we'll leave it off for now. Any other questions on the motion made by Councilor Clifford? And maybe Councilor Ritzma.
So my understanding then through you, the chair, with Councillor Clifford's recommendation of that, it sounds like between 2 and 3%, that you're also indicating that you're in support of the dates that are presented as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before Councilor Clifford?
Yeah, I was just going to ask what staff, what response that staff would have to that motion that's on the floor.
I was just about to ask Ms. Thompson that exact question. Ms. Thompson, did you want to weigh in on this, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I will say that I'm just joining the meeting now. I got delayed and I'm not clear as to what the motion is on the floor. And sorry, are we on item 6.2 with the budget?
Yes, there's a suggestion made of increase between 2 and 3%.
Okay. And that's the only thing that's different than the staff recommendation at this point?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I will say that Spencer and I, the manager of financial services, have been having some discussions. You will know the struggles that we're going to be having with respect to the budget process because of a number of factors. Some of them are COVID related. Some of them may not be directly related, but are some of our tenders that have gone out, we've had serious increases there. We are starting to see some of those prices perhaps stabilize, and even the cost of lumber seems to have maybe starting to reduce. But a lot of our construction costs are not specifically related to lumber. They're related to other things. So I think in getting to an answer for you, I think 2 to 3 is good. I think that realistically, we're probably looking at the higher end of that. I think it will be very hard to achieve 2% because we also have our outside boards and agencies that will be having to submit their budgets as well. And again, some of theirs is subject to provincial or even federal funding. And we just don't know and can't predict what the province and the feds will be doing with respect to any further grants in for next year. So I think 2 to 3% is a realistic figure that we will work towards. We may need council to identify service level cuts, and would appreciate any feedback on areas where perhaps we can take a look at our service levels. But you also know that there will be asks coming from members of council as well as departments to achieve some of the directions that have been given already with respect to climate change, housing, affordable housing, and some of those other projects. So as I said, I think 2 to 3 is good, and that is something that we can focus on. But we will be coming back to you for further direction when you see the budget being presented as to where the challenges are.
Thank you. Is there anything else? Then I will call the question. All those in favor? That carries. Item 6.3, LES Natural Gas Procurement Program New Agreement. Spencer?
Through the chair, so LAS has approached the city about entering into a new agreement for the procurement of natural gas for 2021 and beyond. As stated in the report, there will be no substantial changes to the program under the new agreement. The agreement will be for a duration of 2 years and will automatically renew from year to year after that. The city of Stratford has participated in the program now for approximately 15 years, since 2006. Over that time, the city has benefited from the program's fixed pricing structure, which enables the departments within the city to budget effectively and accurately, as well as allowing the city to leverage economies of scale for purchases. So the program contains currently a network of 160 participating municipalities in it. Included in your attachments on page 28, you will see a summary report comparing LAS to a local utility for the period of 2014 to 2020. You'll note that there's a large volatility in the rate comparison between LAS and the utility, and this is the upper left-hand graph. Whereas a local utility has a steep decreases and increases, LAS maintains a consistent gradual decrease. This is pretty much the ultimate goal of LAS. They're meant to hedge against volatile swings, and they're meant to provide consistent and predictable pricing. So its goal isn't necessarily to provide cost savings to the municipality. As you can imagine, it's impossible to predict. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions through the chair.
Does anyone have any questions? Did anyone wish to make the motion on this item? Councilor Ritzman. If there's nothing else, I'll call the question. All those in favor? And that carries. Item 7, there's no advisory committee or outside board minutes. Next subcommittee meeting will be July 20th, 2021. And I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Councilor Bunting, all those in favor? Carried. Thanks, everyone, and stay safe.